Hello, men. When we talk about motivation for our actions, you'll recall this far in the journey that you've taken that our beliefs establish our values inform our worldview conditions our motives energize our behavior, and our behavior always reflects the health of our heart. But the crossover between thought and action is our motive. Our motives energize our behavior. So what energizes your behavior? What should energize your behavior? For some of us, it might be greed. It could be lust. It could be desire of some kind. It could be self-promotion. It could be a focus on wanting to achieve. Or you could be motivated by a desire to be in control. But biblically, that's not what honors God. The kind of motivation that honors God is what the Bible refers to as unconditional love. Now, when you read the New Testament, you'll find that there are 4 Greek words for love, whereas in the English language, we have 1. So what I'd like to do is give you kind of an idea of what these 4 Greek words mean and highlight one in particular, I think, that should motivate all of our behavior. I'm going to be referring to some wonderful information that has been provided by Clarence Haynes, who is a writer for Christianity.com. So he says that in English-speaking cultures, we often say, "I love you." Parents say it to their children. A husband will tell his wife that he loves her, and she'll tell him the same. Even friends will say, "I love you," to each other. While they may use the word love has different meaning with each context. Obviously, he goes on to say, you will love your wife differently than how you love your mother. In English, there's only one word for love, as I've already referred to, and the context defines what type of love it is, because when it's embedded into the comments that you're making, it's easy to draw a conclusion of what we mean by it. But in the New Testament, there are essentially 4 Greek words for love, much more definitive language. Those words are storge, phileo, eros, and agape. Let me explain what 3 of them are, and then we're going to focus on agape love. So when you read in the scriptures, you'll come across these particular Greek words. Storge describes familial love shared between parents and children or siblings. Think about the love you feel, for instance, for your family members, most of them, that is, which will help you understand what storge is. So it's more familial. It's what you would normally say about your family. Phileo refers to a warm, affectionate type of love. With this type of love, the 2 parties kind of have a sense of mutual affection or personal connection. You may think of people who are close companions or best friends. And biblically speaking, you can think of Jonathan and David, for that matter. That's the kind of love they had for one another, was phileo love. So this type of love is present when there's a genuine community. Think of some of your closest relationships with your friends, and you get the sense of the phileo type of love that we're talking about here. Then finally, eros. That refers to a passionate and intense love, kind of like what Jacob had for Rachel. So eros refers to the passionate, intensive love, often marked by strong physical attraction or desire for another person. It centers on physical, emotional aspects of that kind of love. So what I'd like to focus on, though, is the 4th kind of love. It's the only love that God can command us to do. You can't force somebody to phileo love somebody, well, brotherly love, or even storge, a familial type of love, or even eros for that matter. But this type of love, agapao or agape love, is the kind of love that should be motivating our behavior. So let me give you a definition. This agape love is evidenced by action taken in the best interests of others. In other words, love is the unconditional regard for the well-being and welfare of others, even if they're unlikable. When you start practicing this kind of love, regardless of the worthiness of the recipient, it'll result in finding something potentially emotionally lovable in them, even though that might not have been the case at the beginning. Not before the act of selflessness, but during or after acting in their best interest. Well, when we look in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8, we see agape love in action in that it's others-oriented. In this passage, we're told 3 things love is, 9 things it is not, and 4 things it's always, regardless. Of the 6 Greek words for love, agape and selfless love is the most radical. Now, those 6 words, like I said, only 4 of them appear in the New Testament. So agape is one of those. So that kind of love is extended to people, whether family members or distant strangers. Agape was later translated into Latin as caritas, which is the origin of our word charity. C.S. Lewis referred to it as gift love, the highest form of Christian love. It's not based on emotions and instead acting in the best interests of others regardless of the merit. This type of love, as I've said, is commanded by God for his followers. The same Greek word agape is used in the fruit of the Spirit, Galatians 5:22. 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 8, let's look at that. If I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but have not love, I'm only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but I don't have love, I'm nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. Now pay attention. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It's not boastful. It's not proud. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love doesn't delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. That's taken from the New International Version. So the 3 things love is it's patient, it's kind, and it rejoices with the truth. 9 things it's not is it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it doesn't dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Did you hear that, men? We have a tendency as men to keep records of wrongs. And it kind of builds up like a toxin in our system. And so the slightest provocation, probably unrelated to the original cause of the record of wrongs that we've been building up, can trip us over the line, and all of a sudden we respond way out of proportion to what that incident that just happened suggests or creates for us. Because we unload the flood of all of those wrongs that we built up, just come pouring out. Kind of blows away the people that we care about the most. It may be our wife, it may be our children, it may be a best friend. But this kind of love, agape love, keeps no record of wrongs. It lets it go. It does not delight in evil. It never fails. Now, 4 things that this type of love always is: it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Men, I hope that what will motivate you to be a man after God's heart and the actions that you will take will be based on an unconditional regard for the well-being and welfare of another individual, even if they're unlikable. By doing so, by obeying God's command to love in this way, you're going to find something emotionally lovable in that person, because God certainly does. and we represent him to a fallen world. Take it to heart, men. May God bless you.